Hello, everyone. It is nightly Newsy News, and we have Fry guarding the trash can from infiltration from trash pandas. They are, very dangerous around here, so he's protecting all of us right now. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Squab Bob, Christine, Aaron, Becca Lynn, Pranella, Atheist Ant, Let's Go Feral, and Debbie W. and Becca Lynn. If I didn't say anyone's name, it's been the Monday-est Thursday ever, so I apologize. Prude. If I'm not early, then I'm late, so I'm like, "Oh, crud, sidetracked by something." Anywho, I guess, earlier reports of, a certain country doing space nuclear weapons was wrong, and apparently it's the Yakuza now. I Clown world is upon us. Who had, the Yakuza conspiring to sell, nuclear materials? No, Fry is making sure that the trash is not taken out by, well, trash pandas. We have some we have some out there, and they like to try to get in the trash can and tempt Fry to run out there, and he likes to make sure that they respect that he is an indoor-outdoor cat in his thoughts. Hello, Fast Group. What did you win? The entire internet. The entire internet will be boxed up. I wouldn't open anything labeled dark web, but, you do you. U.S. prosecutors have charged an alleged member of the Japanese mafia with conspiring to traffic nuclear materials. Uh, Takashi Iwasawa, 60, tried to sell uranium and plutonium that he believed would be transferred to Iran to build, well, something not so great. Friberto, we have talked about my bed and your bed being a thing. He's like, "You don't have a bed now. We have a bed. We had this discussion." Uh, to build, something not so great, Mr. Iwasaba and a Thai co-defendant were previously hit with weapons and drug charges in April 2020 or 2022. Fry, no. This is why stuff is on my bed. Get down. Yes. He faces life imprisonment if convicted of the latest charges. U.S. authorities say that this gentleman, who is being held in a Brooklyn jail, is a senior figure in Japanese organized crime syndicate known as the Yakuza, with operations in Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Thailand, and the U.S. The U.S. Department of Justice said Mr. Iwasaba and his quote Confederates showed samples of nuclear materials in Thailand to an undercover agent from the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency. The agent was posing as a drugs and weapons trafficker with links to an Iranian general. The samples, which came from Myanmar, were seized by Thai authorities and transferred to U.S. investigators. A U.S. laboratory confirmed that the material contained uranium and weapons grade plutonium. Wonderful. Prosecutors also allege that this gentleman sought to acquire large amounts of military grade weapons on behalf of an unspecified rebel group in Myanmar. Weapons that included surface to air missiles, assault, and sniper force multipliers, machine force multipliers, rockets of various calibers, and various tactical gear. Quote, "It's chilling to imagine the consequences had these efforts succeeded, and the Justice Department will hold accountable those who traffic in these materials and threaten U.S. national security and international stability," Assistant Attorney General Matthew G. Olden, or maybe it's Matthew Golden, I don't know, said in a statement on Wednesday. That's a typo, so either you need a copy editor or he has the most miraculous middle initial ever. I'm just saying. He's continuing to move out of camera focus. His behind is yes, yes, that was a lighter because I had a candle going. And he used to not could be able to go on my bed, so it's like having a toddler again and remembering that they can go on your things. Yes. In February 2020, Mr. Ibasawa allegedly contacted the DEA agent about selling these materials. According to US prosecutors, he explained via encrypted communication. Ooh, he did a WhatsApp or a Snapchat. Uh, that he had, said materials. According to US prosecutors, he explained that uranium is not good for your health. Well, that's a PSA we never knew about. In September of that year, he allegedly emailed the undercover DEA agent a letter bearing the name of a mining company. He offered to sell 50 tons of uranium and thorium for 6 million or 6.85 million. Prosecutors also say he sent photographs showing a dark rocky material with a Geiger counter, which is used to measure levels of radiation. He faces charges including conspiracy to commit international trafficking of nuclear materials, narcotics incorporation or importation conspiracy, conspiracy to acquire, transfer, and possess anti-aircraft missiles. I didn't even know that was well, I assume that was a crime, but I didn't know that someone had actually acquired them, and money laundering. His conspirator, 61-year-old Thai national. Oh, this is gonna be a it's lucky I'm not in the UK, I'd get in trouble for mispronouncing this name. Okay, y'all. Sampamp, Singh Hasari is facing drug and weapons charges as well. The pair will be arraigned in New York federal courtroom on Thursday. A missing Scottish Highlands game trophy was found after nearly a century. Please tell me that was in someone's nan's room. They just took it. They're like, "This is an amazing fruit bowl. I'm just gonna keep it." It was at a swap meet. Organizers of the Scottish Highland Games said a traditional silver trophy is returning to the competition after being lost for nearly a century. The Cabruch Trust, which revived the Cabruch Picnic and Games as part of the Scottish Highland Games in 2022 after it was initially ended 87 years earlier, said the Rose Bowl trophy was found in Devon, England. For the love of all that is holy, can England not steal anything else from the Scottish? I'm just kidding. Just kidding. The trophy was introduced to the games in 1960 or 1926 and served as prize until the Cabruch Picnics and Games stopped being held in 1934. Historians sought to locate the trophy once the games were revived, but all they could determine was that it was last in the possession of Ron Taylor, whose father, Charles Taylor, was the last to receive it as the top performer in the games. The trust issued a public appeal for information about the Rose Bowl's whereabouts, and the appeal came to the attention of Adrian Taylor, 73, Ron Taylor's son. Taylor, who came across the appeal after rediscovering the trophy while cleaning his house. It was in someone's nan's house. I'm telling you. Well, grandpa's. I'm a genius. Uh, and researching its origins, traveled 600 miles to the Cabrach estate in Moray to return the trophy to trust officials. Quote, "I could not believe it when I unsuspectingly answered the phone and find myself speaking to Adrian Taylor," Jonathan Christie, CEO of the Cabrach Trust, told BBC Scotland. "We're beyond it delighted to welcome the Rose Bowl back to its rightful home and are indebted to Adrian for recognizing its significance to the Cabrach rich culture and history." No, that is a dried meat stick, but it does look ridiculously like poo for a dog treat. Believe me, I am about to call their customer service line because every time I look over, I'm like, "Fry," and then I'm like, "Oh, well, dang it, no, that's your." Uh, in cops well, arresting other cops, a New Jersey cop slams own police chief onto car hood after boss allegedly shows up drunk to an accident scene, video shows. Hopefully, they will have this, body cam footage, and I will be doing a whole Judge Moe attempt because this is well, it's terrible, but what the heck? Oof. A Jersey dirt ah. A Jersey Shore police chief was suspended after reportedly showing up drunk to an accident scene and getting into a scuffle with one of his own officers, who later slammed his boss on the hood of the police cruiser and told the chief to leave before he, quote, gets a problem. The confrontation between Bradley Beach Police Chief Leonard Gudia and Sergeant William Major erupted on the night of November 9th when the chief allegedly walked up to a suspected drunk driving crash on Main Street and began berating Major about his uniform, according to body cam footage obtained by tap into no, a local news site. Sir, you have resting douche face. I would not get in other people's faces. Okay, but seriously, I feel like the, principal on, Kindergarten Cop, where she calls Arnold in after he hits the dad that's no good, and he thinks he's gonna get fired, but then she just brings him into the office and she's like, "How'd it feel to punch that sumbitch?" Just saying. "Why do you got a jacket on that's not fit to be worn?" Gudia asked on the recording. "Get rid of that, it's ridiculous. You're a sergeant, for God's sake." Major took the jacket off, then walked back to the smashed up car, but Goodyear wasn't done, calling for Major to come back. When the sergeant ignored him, Goodyear followed and went to grab his arm. Oh, oh, he was trying to walk away, sir. Quote, "Don't you touch me," Major yelled as he grabbed the swaying chief by his lapel and threw him up on the hood of a police cruiser. "Don't you effing touch me. You have a problem? You grabbed me. Now get out of here before you get a problem." He then lifted Gudia back off the car and shoved him away, muttering that his boss was, quote, "drunk again," according to the footage. Gudia began telling other officers to take him in, to which Major responded by again trying to shoo him away. Quote, "Chief, get out of here or you're gonna get locked up," Major said. "Chief, you're gonna get locked up. You're grabbing me. I've asked you 3 times to leave me alone. You are obstructing my DWI. You grabbed me. You are out of line. It's on video. I'm not going to argue." Gudia suspends him on the spot, and after more back and forth, Major heads back to the station to wait for an upbraiding. Major has since returned to duty, tap into said. But Gudia, who was suspended from his $174,000 a year job for a month after the incident, remains on administrative leave. Fry. Get off the bed. No. If you want on the bed, I have to get all this stuff off. Here. No, you cannot have a plastic bag, you dingus. Remains on administrative leave from the 18-member department, according to Mayor Larry Fox. A spokesperson for Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office said the agency investigated Gudia's conduct and, quote, subsequently forwarded our findings to the Borough of Bradley Beach for its review. We fully expect that the actions we have taken and the actions or the additional actions pending in Bradley Beach will collectively remedy this issue. Somebody's getting fired, the statement said. Fox echoed this emailed statement to the Post. Quote, I have received the report from the prosecutor's office, he wrote. As you know, this is a personnel matter until it is completed. I can't comment in detail at this time, but I'm confident we will have closure soon. It, nothing. My bed. Fry has run away. And what the hell is wrong with people? Name and shame these two and send them directly to Snake Island. Quote, why would y'all do that? Hospital workers dump grieving woman's baby ashes after stealing teddy bear urn, cops say. The hell is wrong with you two human rejects? You are both pimples on the taint of humanity and need to be lanced. Giblets. A grand jury in Cobb County, Georgia last week indicted a husband and wife for stealing an urn containing a born sleeping baby's ashes while working at a hospital, records say. Uh, Anelius, but I'm going to call him Anus, and Rosny, but I'm going to call her Rosacea, Jean Mary Frederick. Look, y'all have been alleged to have done some effed up stuff, and they done found the urn in your house. I know you're presumed innocent, but I'm not on your jury, so I've done judged you guilty for now. Are charged with the malicious removal of a dead body from a grave, removal of a dead body from a grave, and abandonment of a dead body, according to court records. A warrant says the Fredericks were working at Wellstar Keystone Regional Medical Center in Marietta when they found a teddy bear. The teddy bear belonged to Carla Watson, the mother of the child, and had a small black and gold urn containing her baby's ashes. These two dill holes threw the teddy bear away and took the urn home. Because why? The warrant said. Cops alleged that these two jerk faces later disposed of the ashes. What in the name of all that is holy is wrong with you two? The urn was valued at $1,500. Marietta police obtained a warrant for the Frederick's arrest in March 2023 and later took them to the Cobb County Jail on an $8,400 bond. They are now out on bond. An attorney listed for the Fredericks has since removed himself from the case. Yeah, dude, look, y'all need to go pro se because I need you all to stay in jail forever. Kieran Massey, the child's father, told Atlanta affiliate WSB that the child was stillborn 6 months into Watson's pregnancy. Watson was at the hospital to receive treatment and brought the bear for emotional support. She took a shower and noticed the bear was gone. When she got out, Massey told the outlet, the Fredericks allegedly took the bear when they were changing sheets in her room. Cops found the urn at the Frederick house, but the ashes were gone. Y'all, I cannot with these people. Like directly into the sun, allegedly. Quote, just knowing we lost her and losing the ashes all in one is very painful. Why? Why would y'all do that? End quote, Massey said. Massey said that he was upset and shocked. We cried all that night, honestly, just thinking about everything, Massey told the outlet. The hospital told WSB that it investigated the matter once the allegations were made and that these two dill faces no longer work there. Well, thank God you fired them at least. Giblets. Fry is like, thank you, Mom. I am now safe on your bed. I is asleep. Yeah, some people are just, when you think you've seen the worst of people, uh, I just got out of prison for this. A gym goer stabbed a man in the butt over a leg press machine and chased him through the locker room. I shouldn't be laughing at that. Look, stabbings of any kind are terrible, even if they happen in the buttular region. They happen in the glute. You're at an LA Fitness and someone's real pissed off they can't use the squat machine. Quote, "I just got out of prison for this." End quote. A gym goer allegedly told cops during his arrest for stabbing a man in the butt after an encounter at the leg press machine. Now, how many times have you stabbed someone in the ass, sir? Because that would be my first question. Like, are you a serial ass stabber? What is going on here? But this is why I'm not a cop. John David Makinson, 69, the jokes just write themselves, was locked up at the Travis County Correctional Complex in Texas on a $50,000 bond for one count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, records show. The victim was at an LA Fitness in the neighborhood of North Austin shortly after 11 a.m. on Friday, according to court documents obtained by Austin Fox affiliate KTBC. He wanted to use the leg press machine, but the suspect was already on it and told him to do something else, authorities wrote. A gym member, Andrew Puno, who told the outlet there were signs there giving a time limit of 10 to 20 minutes per equipment use. The victim waited, and then he used the machine after Makinson was done. He finished his workout and went to the locker room, but the suspect allegedly began yelling at him. The victim felt blood coming down his leg, authorities said, and that's when he realized that Makinson, armed with a knife, had stabbed him in the butt. I mean, well, atheist, almost. You have glutes of steel if you didn't realize until later that you got stabbed, but okay. Um, the suspect allegedly then chased him through the bathroom. At staffers' urging, the victim went to the front of the gym where others shielded him from Makinson. Quote, "Who else wants some?" The suspect allegedly shouted at him. Another person managed to calm him down, police said. Officers arrived and arrested the suspect, to which he said, quote, "I just got out of prison for this." Makinson, who is charged with assault, was reportedly convicted of the same charge 11 years before. He looks like a very grumpy, older Vern Troyer, and he's like if Ernest P. Worrell had had a really, really tough life. A hearing is scheduled to take place March 8th. This is a trial we must have video recorded. I'm just saying, Texas or Georgia, you owe it to America. Uh, Pilot pulls zero gravity prank on sleeping pals mid-flight, people getting floated. What a couple of airheads. A pilot is facing backlash online after pulling a controversial zero-gravity prank on several female passengers, as seen on an Instagram video with 45 million views. Quote, "Zero gravity is safe and a fun type of thing to do with friends when done correctly," pilot and flying instructor John Robert Nielsen wrote in the clip's caption. The flyboy regularly posts clips detailing his time in the friendly skies for his over 100,000 followers on Instagram. For his latest stunt, Nielsen decided to seemingly punk two female passengers by making them float in flight. In the footage, the two headset sporting gal pals are seen seemingly sleeping without seatbelts in the back of the small aircraft. All of a sudden, the jokester maneuvers the plane such as the pair rise upward out of their seats and hit the jet ceiling, a la floating scene in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. The clip concludes with the two women floating back down to their seats while laughing uproariously over their ridiculous predicament. And of course, Helen Lovejoys have to be pissed off about stuff. For the uninitiated, zero G environments are created when pilots fly the plane in a parabolic arc in which they point the nose of the plane upward, then downward after reaching a certain altitude. When the plane hits a central peak of the parabola, passengers experience weightlessness for around 20 seconds, similar to an astronaut in space. Nielsen insisted in the clip's caption that the levitation trick was fun and safe and urged people to that follow him if they wanted to see more people get floated. Needless to say, the Instagram verse felt like he didn't appreciate the gravity of subjecting passengers to a zero G environment. Remember when like teenagers were the rebellious group of people and now they're like, oh my gosh, we're going to get hurt. Good Lord. Quote, no seatbelts in a plane is actually insane. My guess is they were wearing lap belts or they didn't wear them, and that's a kind of a on them thing, said one commenter. Another listed potential mishaps that could occur due to the prank, which they claimed included everything from head injuries to inadvertently interfering with flight controls should the passengers fly into the front seat. Quote, stuff pilots do for attention that can make the rest of us look stupid if something bad happens, the critic fumed. However, many viewers felt the stunt was clearly fake and the so called victims were in on it. So many Karen pilots in here, scoffed one. Not dangerous and staged. They knew it was coming, just have a little fun, get a life. The fact that they immediately started smiling, clickbait, lol, declared another. Others accused Nelson of violating federal aviation regulations, which he addressed in a follow up video on Instagram. In it, the pilot claimed the allegations of careless or reckless operation of an aircraft, one of many uh, several violations of which he was accused, were erroneously given. That he wasn't endangering the women's life or jeopardizing the airplane. They were simply floating up and down. I'm not overstressing the aircraft. He also argued that their lack of seatbelts was fine, citing the fact that belts were only required for taxi, takeoff, and landing. Lastly, Nielsen refuted the notion that he liked to break FAA rules just to, quote, create content, claiming the reason they're able to have fun in the back is because they know I'm being safe about it. I'm making sure we have plenty of altitude and that there's no traffic around us. I like to be safe and have fun. I hope you guys can see that in the video. Lord, people have no chill anymore. Speaking of people having no chill, Tay Tay, stop being mean to this guy. I know he looks like you're the love child of an insurance agent and David Hogg, but he's just being a Helen Lovejoy about your plane. If I had a private jet, I wouldn't tell anyone. A university student from Florida has made a habit of getting under the skin of some of the world's richest and most powerful people. How? By telling the rest of us where their private planes are and how much carbon they emit. Jack Sweeney would like to clarify a few details. For one thing, he thinks Taylor Swift has some good tunes. However, he believes, despite the threat of legal action, that anyone should be able to see where her private jet is headed and how often it flies. Quote, I like to be fair, he told the BBC in an email. I try to share everyone's info, no matter who it is. But it's specifically information about the location of the private planes of the rich and powerful posted on his social media account that has repeatedly made the 21-year-old subject of news stories and legal threats. On Monday, Mr. Sweeney posted a photo of his lawyer's response to Miss Swift's demand that he take down his at Taylor Swift Jets account, which tracks the singer's flights. The letter, which was dated last month, argued that the jet tracking account, quote, is engaged in protected speech that does not violate any of Miss Swift's legal rights, end quote. The photo was captioned with a Swiftian reference, look what you made me do. Mr. Sweeney is the son of an airline maintenance operations controller and a teacher and grew up in the suburbs of Orlando. He says he's always had an interest in aviation and technology, particularly in Elon Musk's SpaceX and Tesla's companies. Those interests gradually led him to develop a plane tracking website, the airtraffic.com, and social media accounts which track the aircraft of celebrities, politicians, tycoons, and Russian oligarchs. The system relies on publicly available data collected by amateur enthusiasts. Aeroplanes um, in the sky regularly send out information about where they are located, and these signals can be picked up by people using inexpensive receivers on the ground. This thriving cohort of online plane trackers is part of a larger OSNIT, open source intelligence community populated by people who delve into masses of freely available online data looking for incriminating, insightful, or just plain interesting nuggets of information. An entire population of people looking for newsy news? Holy cow. This motley crew that includes a range of individuals from the mildly curious to dedicated researchers and committed investigative journalists. Quote, originally, I was just kind of doing this as a hobby as I found it interesting, said Mr. Sweeney, who is currently in his third year of an information technology degree at the University of Central Florida. As time has gone by, he's found a more defined purpose. He says he believes in, quote, the importance of transparency and public information. And there's the environmental angle. Quote, the flyers are trying to hide the bad PR of carbon emissions. His data has been used in studies showing the huge carbon footprint of Miss Swift and her entourage, and he criticized the singer in another post on X, sharing a clip of her telling her boyfriend, Travis Kalise, jet lag is a choice. Quote, jet lag is a choice for those who fly in private jets and sleep in a queen size bed on board, he wrote. The singer says she brought enough carbon offsets to cancel out emissions from her latest tour twice over. But there's also the privacy issues at stake. Swift contends that revealing the location of her private plane puts her at risk from stalkers. In the letter revealed by Washington Post, lawyers for the singers wrote that the plane tracking app was a life or death matter and that there was no legitimate interest in or public need for this information other than to stalk, harass, and exert domination and control. Do I really have to say his name right? Okay, Kelsey. I was just gonna call him Mr. Taylor Swift or, the soon to be Mr. Taylor Swift. Mr. Sweeney rejects all those assertions and says there is a fundamental public interest in locating the pop star's plane. His proof? Swifties themselves. Her fans, who have grown the Taylor Swift Jets account and subreddit, are the ones truly interested, he said. These tracking accounts consistently have more supporters and fans than detractors. Well, I mean, look, who hasn't had a 5-minute marriage or two? And given world tours and numerous public appearances, including at marquee NFL games, it's usually easy to figure out where Miss Swift will be at some point in the future. Prior to the Super Bowl, for instance, numerous stories were published speculating about her travel schedule between a gig in Tokyo and the big game in Las Vegas. Much of this public information is more granular than the location of a plane. Flight data can show who owns an aircraft and where it is in the sky, but not who is on it or where those people travel to after the plane lands. But Miss Swift's representatives say plane information gives exact times and locations of her movements and notes that one alleged stalker was recently arrested outside her home in New York. However, Alvin Bragg let him go with cashless bail. Her publicist, T. Payne, said in a statement, quote, "His posts tell you exactly when and where she would be." Mr. Sweeney also had some advice for the star, gently suggesting that if privacy is her top concern, she should register her private jet through an anonymous corporate entity and perhaps choose an identification code that does not include her birthday and initials. We're living in Spaceballs. We are living in Spaceballs. Planet Druidia. What is the password for your airlock? Okay, it is 1, 2, 3, 4. Mel Brooks, never leave us. Well, there you go. Taylor Swift, maybe use an LLC. I hope none of you are eating dinner. This one is kinda gross, but it's Florida Man, so, you've been warned. A Florida man has 150 live bugs removed from his nose, and he didn't even know they were there. I y'all, why? It took months, but a Florida man finally found out what was bugging him. Jacksonville doctors removed 150 live bugs in the larval stage from the nose and sinuses of a cancer survivor earlier this month, First Coast News reported. The unidentified man had been feeling quote unquote off since October, but it wasn't until his face and lips swelled on February 9th that he sought help at HCA Florida Memorial Hospital. I started getting constant nosebleeds, the man told First Coast News. I couldn't even get up to go to the bathroom without my nose starting to bleed. Things got really weird at the hospital. I went in for the examination and the doctor says I see movement. Oh, hell no. I Oh, no. No, no. This is not gonna be a good one. I'd have been like, "See movement, knock me the hell out. I cannot deal with this." Doctor David Carlson told the outlet that he had examined the man's nose with a camera only to discover dozens of bugs feeding on the inside of the nose and sinus cavities, shedding tissue and poo. Yeah. Look, I God bless you, sir. I don't that's a no. It's a no. Which spurred the man's inflammation. Yeah, no crap. I can't imagine. Quote, "Size-wise, there were variation, but the larger ones were as big as the end of my pinky." Yeah, no, it's even too much. On to other news. Bradley Cooper does a daily, cold plunge. Should you do it too? No, it sounds like hell, but I don't like cold water. Actor-director Bradley Cooper is a fan of cold therapy, revealing to the New York Times that he does a cold plunge every morning when I get up. According to the publication, the maestro and hangover star pictured floating in a creek on a snowy day wearing nothing but shorts, likes to meditate in freezing temperatures, and he's not alone. Cold? No. It would feel like you're dying of hypothermia. Look, the only way I am getting in cold water is to prove that, damn it, Rose could have moved her redheaded behind and Jack could have been on that flippin' door. That's the only way I'm getting into water. Cold water, that is. For years, celebrities and athletes alike, including Justin Bieber, have talked about using cold water immersion to boost muscle recovery. The Wim Hof method, created by Dutch extreme athlete Wim Hof, has also popularized cold therapy as a way to heighten focus, increase energy, reduce stress levels, among other wellness claims. Oh, boost. There you go. The practice has become more mainstream as social media has shown people even purchasing ice baths for their backyards to incorporate a plunge into their daily routine. Some spas and workout studios have cold plunges to to their offering. Again, copy edited also have added cold plunges to their offering. But does the growing access to ice baths mean that more people should be participating in the plunge? Here's what experts think. What is cold plunging and why are people doing it? Well, masochism is a fairly human trait, I guess. No, I'm just kidding. Cold plunging is the practice of cold therapy that involves total or partial immersion immersion into water that is below 60 degrees Fahrenheit for a short period of time. Andrew Jagum, a director of sports medicine research at the Mayo Clinic Health System, tells Yahoo Life that immersion can be continuous or done in multiple intermittent sessions. Most people start with 30 seconds. Quote, it's a common practice among athletes or fitness enthusiasts to either start the day with a cold plunge or follow a workout or training session with a cold plunge with the intent of improving recovery, he says. Cold plunging is said to improve muscle recovery by inducing what Jagum refers to as a state of vasoconstriction to which the blood vessels rapidly constrict to direct blood flow to central organs instead of your limbs because your body thinks it's dying. In doing so, it can limit inflammation to muscles post exercise. However, it's not just people doing intense physical activity who are participating in cold immersion therapy. He says he's seen claims that cold plunging has helped treat symptoms of chronic pain or resulted in improvement in mood and bolstered resilience to stress. Okay, I do have a question. If I plunge someone else into cold water repeatedly and I feel stress relief, same benefits and or is that assault? Asking for a mo. Look, it would make me feel better just a little bit for some people, I'm just saying. Becca, I if my leg weren't so terribly, sensitive to cold, but my leg always feels like it has frostburn. So I'm like, "Yeah, no, not going into ice." But I can imagine that if you like it, so and it does sound like it has some good, qualities. I'm just thinking, no more ice. No ice. Not for this person. Uh, while people across the internet have listed these potential benefits as a fact, experts admit that there is limited research to back them up. Francois Hammond, a health science professor at the University of Ottawa in Canada, who has studied cold exposure for 2 decades, is among them. Quote, assuming the cold improves inflammation, cold improves the immune system, that's totally unclear, he tells Yahoo Live. Measuring the changes in the immune system is actually not that easy. Although it's not demonstrated scientifically, he does concede the importance of anecdotal evidence. There is some indication that pain can actually be improved and people feel better, he says. What Hammond knows to be true is that cold water immersion is a stimulant that acts like any other stimulant. You experience very high stress initially, and that's extremely stimulating. I'll just continue to go to Walmart on a Saturday. Then you're gonna get a dopamine release, and you're going to get a noradrenaline being released, he said. So, basically, stress hormones go up, and when you come out of it, it's almost like giving you a new life. You feel super activated. I I will take your word for it, Becca Lynn. I will probably not be buying an ice bath, but I will take your word for it, and I'm glad it helps you and makes you feel better. Everyone needs that. Hammond says the effects on the mind are also clear. When you hit that cold water, you find a way to basically go into a meditative state, he says. You're facing a very strenuous type of stress and learning to keep control of your body. So there's evidence that it does improve that capacity to set a different mindset and be able to learn about meditation and learn about mindfulness, all these things. These benefits are the result of doing cold water immersion for up to 2 minutes. Staying in cold water for longer than that, however, become or comes with certain risks. When you say 2 minutes is good, people will think 20 minutes is 10 times better, Hammond says. That is not the way this works. Is it safe? Immersing yourself in cold water is a quote, calculated risk, end quote, at all times, according to Hammond, because of the potential for hypothermia, skin damage, cardiac stress, increased blood pressure, and even drowning. The lack of regulation around the practice makes people more vulnerable. Quote, assuming that every body responds the same way to cold is extremely dangerous, he said. I have had some people have a lot of difficulties in the cold, and other people have no issues. He likens it to practicing any strenuous physical activity, noting that certain precautions should be taken to ensure that someone is physically fit and able to sustain a cold plunge. Without information about a person's health or injuries, it can become life-threatening, as the National Center for Cold Water Safety warns on its website. Quote, certain individuals with chronic health conditions such as cardiovascular disease or autoimmune conditions affecting blood flow may want to consult their primary care physician prior to engaging in cold plunging to minimize the risks of adverse reactions. Hammond recommends a number of precautions for those interested in trying a cold plunge, from doing it in water that is only waist deep to ensure that you can get out safety, to participating with a partner or group, to covering the hands and feet to avoid injuries. He also reiterates a 2 minute time limit. Quote, 2 minutes is enough to create the cold shock response, to regain control, do a minute of deep meditation, then get out, Hammond says. That's the safe way of doing it. People that do it regularly may want to push a little bit, but the longer you stay in, the more dangerous it becomes. And if a full cold plunge isn't your thing, he advises a cold shower every once in a while can provide many of the same benefits. I'm not in the business of preventing people from doing a cold plunge, he says. I'm in the business of making sure people do it in a safe manner and do it well. Uh, yes, kind of the same. Yes, drowning is bad, okay? Have your floaty arm things on, have a friend, maybe a another friend, maybe 5 friends. McDonald's is bringing its anime counterpart, WickDonald's, to life. Oh, this is gonna be a hot trash fire of awesomeness. In the anime world lives we WickDonald's, the McDonald's-inspired restaurant seen in anime shows and movies, and it's about to come to life. Beginning February 26th, WickDonald's will transform from fiction to real life in more than 30 global markets in collaboration with some of the biggest names in anime. McDonald's will be bringing WickDonald's into their world with a new sauce, Wick Nuggets, a MAGA-inspired packaging, episodic shorts, and more. McDonald's stemmed from a way to our animators and illustrators to have their characters dine at an instantly recognizable McDonald's by swapping the M with a W to get by without being sued and without obtaining licenses of the actual name. This is the best comment I've ever seen. They'd probably have those available because it wouldn't require the ice machine or ice cream machine to actually effing work. Quote, anime is a huge part of today's culture, and we love that our fans have been inviting us into the conversation for years. Tariq Hansen, Chief Marketing and Customer Experience Officer at McDonald's USA, said in a statement. Quote, the WickDonald's universe is a reflection of what fans have created. It honors their vision and celebrates their creativity while authentically bringing it to life in our restaurants for the first time ever. For a limited time, anime lovers can level up their meals with savory chili McDonald's sauce, a combination of ginger, garlic, and soy with slight heat from chili flakes. The McDonald's sauce packs a punch and is a perfect addition to an order of Wick nuggets that can also be added to a side of any meal. Anime lovers will even feel like they're part of the world with custom Wick Donald's packaging featuring Wick Donald's crew characters designed by Japanese manga artist and creator Aki Bright. Look, y'all, I only know Sailor Moon. uh, Quote, I had a great time partnering with McDonald's to help make Wick Donald's a reality for manga fans who have a genuine love for the brand, Aki Bright said. From the details of the diverse crew characters to the manga plot itself, I love being able to use my artwork to bring to life the dynamic, vibrant world of Wick Donald's for people around the world. The packaging will feature a code that can be scanned to gain access to weekly digital manga drops starring the full cast of McDonald's customers crew, including Hasharoon, a McDonald's regular, Mr. Bev, the crew jokester, Wick Deezer 3000, and McDonald's very own Mecca. We're in clown world, right? Every Monday from February 26th until March 18th, a new episodic short will be dropping along with new manga on wickdonalds.com. Mickey D's partnered with animation house Studio Perot to make the first McDonald's anime in 4 episodic shorts that tell a story about the Wick Donald's sauce and the Wick Nuggets. I don't know why. This is just killing me. Oh, Lord. The shorts, which can be found by scanning the packaging or through the website, will honor 4 of anime's biggest subgenres: action, romance, mecha, and fantasy. Wait till the avatar can control all of the sauces. Ranch, buffalo, this new sauce, and sweet and sour. Dropping February 26th is Race to McDonald's about, quote, about a rivalry strong enough to withstand the test of time as our two heroes embark on an epic race to McDonald's. Quote, Love Across the Booth drops March 4th, a story where the two protagonists discover the McDonald's sauce and Wick Nuggets aren't the only perfect pairing. A team of McDonald's pilots must protect the last Wick Nugget against an ominous force is the premise of Wig Nuggets Space Frontier 3000 dropping March 11th. And finally, The Wisdom of the Sauce dropping March 16th will show 3 women transported to a distant land to unravel the mystery surrounding the elusive sauce before it's gone forever. You guys, I can't. The fast food chain recognized that the fictional McDonald's, quote, "wouldn't be what it was if it weren't for the creativity of our fans." So we're recognizing 3 up-and-coming anime artists who have created McDonald's themed artwork with grants to help fund their upcoming projects, and celebration of their local McDonald's. Additionally, the three artists will receive a one on one mentoring session with top or I'm sorry, manga artist and illustrator Aki Bright, according to the press release. So there you guys go. I'm glad they're at least doing something for up and coming, artists. But this is just dumb enough to be real life. Well, nothing's so I guess on the 26th you get your first mini episode, your webisode, but nothing right now. Only on the ones on the hub and Jeffrey Toobin's computer, possibly other YouTubers, but we don't know. Falsh, I'm looking at you, sir. Just saying, you need to scrub your computer history before you look things up online. Oh, goodness. Well, that is the last story for this evening. Oh, yes. What? I will be here on Friday. Tomorrow, we have gotten the verdict, and I believe at noon, because I think we're going on right after Vices. But I will double check and put up not a TikTok, doggone it, an X, a Twitter about it, but I believe it's noon. So noon tomorrow, Nicholas Starro and I will be going over the latest BSery that is falling out of the Delphi case. So, good Lord. Judge Gull and Randall just need to quit it. Although them doing a duet together as Captain and Tennille may be happening if I can get the right wig and robe soon. I'm just saying. Oh, no. Well, before the Baldo comes in, and that was phrasing, I'm going to leave. It has been the Mondayest Thursday ever. I have surrendered to the chaos, but it's time to call it a day. I hope everyone has had a good day. And, remember to hug your kiddos extra tight. Oh, and everything else, you know, try it. I'm not going to tell you what to believe in, but keep your, uh, thoughts or prayers or whatever you have. Maybe say a little something for Harmony just today, wherever she is. Because, let's not forget that she was the real reason for the trial. And I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.